Oh, Anya. Anya. Taylor-Joy. Would love to get on. I'm not going to say it. What's happening, film friends? Dave the Film Junkie here, bringing you a film review of Last Night in Soho. Last Night in Soho stars Thomasin McKenzie. I still don't know if I'm saying her first name right. You know me. But yeah, starring her, and of course starring Anya Taylor-Joy, Matt Smith, maybe some other people too that are not really recognizable when I hear. But it's also, well, it's not fully written by, I mean, he had a co-writer with him, but mainly written by and directed by Edgar Wright. And this is about a character named Eloise who goes into London after, she lives out with her grandmother out in the outskirts, just kind of like, the country life more subtle. But she has a love for the 60s. They very much established that big time, and she wants to be a fashion designer, loves the 60s fashion, loves the music. And that's one of the things that a lot of people are going to dig about this is the music, because there's a lot of good music in here. I mean, obviously, when it comes to a more Gen Z-like crowd, they might be like, what the fuck am I listening to? Downtown. Yeah, that song will get stuck in your goddamn head. But yes, she gets accepted into this fashion institute, and she moves into this apartment with this lady that has a spare bedroom, and then things start to kind of happen where she just goes to sleep and she travels back in time and all of a sudden follows the life and kind of lives the life, I guess you could say, with this girl named Sandy, which bad things happen. Bad things start to happen and starts to get a little haunting. So what did I think of Last Night in Soho? Well, I liked it. Come on! It's Edgar Wright, and it's spooky stuff. Movie's pretty excellent, and I mean, it really has to do with the two leads, Anya and Miss McKenzie, and that was funny too, because I even said in my first reaction, I'm like, why does she look so familiar? I'm like, oh yeah, she was in Old earlier this year, but she's definitely, she's a lead in this, and really does well. Gives a great performance. So does Anya Taylor-Joy, and I mean it. Edgar Wright, again, I mean, he's one of my all-time favorite directors. He really is. Ever since I saw Shaun of the Dead, always been a fan. The Coronado trilogy, Scott Pilgrim, I mean, he's always been up there when it comes to my favorite all-time directors. And he really captures, when you get transported back into the 60s, London in the 60s, I mean, obviously, it's not like I know what exactly that was like, but I mean, he really does capture that atmosphere. And like I said, I mean, even with like the background that I have right now and even the logo, I mean, you get that neon, and I love that. You guys know I do that. I love the use of neon when it comes to like live stream. There's just something about that ambiance, and he really creates that atmosphere, that aesthetic throughout the movie. And then of course just the way that he edits, the fast-paced way that he edits, the way that he moves the camera, the frames, and just wants to place things here and to build that tension and just to keep everything just go. That's what I've always loved about him. There's one way, and I remember there was somebody that broke this down. It's like, yeah, you could have somebody just travel to like another city and have just have like the normal just wide shots and whatever, but no, not Edgar Wright. He goes, no, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do this instead. He just has a very unique style, and when it comes to this story, it's a very haunting story that kind of makes you start thinking as you're going. And what I really liked about it was they really established what's going on with the character of Eloise, like Ellie, who, she's kind of out of her element, but she wants to design dresses, and, she just wants to be a fashion designer. And, when you really establish where she's coming from and things that have happened in her life, you almost go like, okay, huh, interesting. And then when things start to happen, and then just the way that it's shot with reflections, because she's very much living the life of Sandy, Anya Taylor-Joy, but when she's walking past mirrors, you see Ellie, and then everything but the interaction, like you see Matt Smith in the shot or somebody else, and it's so seamless. It's so very seamless, and it's just, again, it's like it's Edgar Wright that just knows how to craft these scenes so perfectly that when you're seeing Sandy in the frame, but in the reflection you're seeing Ellie. It's pretty damn cool. It's pretty awesome. And then there's a lot of tension building. There's a lot of good like not really scary. It doesn't do jump scares, but building the tension and just kind of getting a little freaky. It's not like it was like, but it was just kind of like, it's more of a thriller, I think, than horror. I wouldn't say this is a horror. It's a thriller. It's more of a thriller. But it's yeah, like I said, performances are great. I think when the third act comes about, you kind of figure out. I was probably like halfway through. I don't know. I didn't look at my watch or anything, but I was like, okay, I know what's kind of going on right here. But then he kind of flips it. He does kind of flip it where it's like, oh yeah, it's supposed to be this, and then all of a sudden it goes to this, and then of course when it gets to the third act, I mean, there is a character that Ellie gets involved with that sometimes I'm just kind of like, I don't know if I like the approach of how the character just got entangled into the story. It was just kind of like, all right. And then to me, it was just kind of going on like telling that guy, run. But even though you could probably guess some of the twists, there's other twists in here too that I didn't see. And I was like, oh, there we go. Thank you right there. So I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I really did. I just think like the final act the third act kind of got a little wonky. It does get a little bit, a little wonky where you're just kind of going like, well, wait a minute. And then some stuff just goes like, well, that was a little easy. That's okay. Interesting. And then you establish this right here, which was pretty tropey, and then that didn't go anywhere. But there's, like I said, when you have those really creepy, haunting scenes, man, does Edgar Wright just fucking nail it. The intense scenes, the scenes where people are being, chased or whatever the hell, running, he just really captures that. And like I said, the aesthetic, which of course you could see in the background right here, that aesthetic is always just the aesthetic with light, with neon lights. It's just chef's kiss when it comes to that. And like I said, performances, absolutely great. And yeah, really enjoyed the movie, guys. Really enjoyed the movie. Go check it out. If you're an Edgar Wright fan, absolutely do it. You want something a little fresh, a little different when it comes to a haunting type story, go check out this movie. I think you'll enjoy it. You'll definitely enjoy it. I certainly did. So anyways, guys, there is my review of Last Night in Soho. Let me know your thoughts about it down below if you saw it. Hit that like, thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit the join button if you want to become a member and help out the channel. And of course, there's the Patreon too if you want to help out right there. And there's merchandise in the Film Junkie closet down below. All right, guys. Talk to you later.